Anyways, I'm pleased to announce our speaker, our Learn and Grow speaker, Mark Munzenberger. He's an accredited financial counselor, and he's the financial education manager at the University of Michigan Credit Union, UMCU. We like to use acronyms. Mark has been working in financial services since 2003, and provides both financial education workshops and individual financial counseling for thousands of students, U of M staff, and community members each year. I should say retirees on here too, Mark, but anyways. And Mark's diverse programs have been recognized with multiple credit unions, industry awards, and in 2021, Mark was named the Michigan Credit Union Foundation's Educator of the Year. He has a couple co-workers that I'll let him introduce, and he's going to be talking on stay safe, avoiding identity theft, and financial fraud. With that, Mark.
Okay, Roger, thank you. All right. Yeah. Okay, good. No, I don't need that. So, Happy New Year. It is fantastic to be here. Holy cow, y'all turned out today. Okay, I'm like, it's snowing. There'll probably be 25 people here. A few more than 25. It is, this is about the third or fourth time that I've had a chance to present to this organization, and it's always a lot of fun. So many friendly faces. Good news today is I'm joined by a couple of my very valuable colleagues at UMCU. First of all, Nicole, could you give us a quick wave? Nicole works with me on our education team, does a lot of our credit classes, our budgeting classes, does a ton of work on U of M's campus with students. So she is a great resource for information even when we finish. Mr. Elgin Beatty is here with us. Elgin is our security and fraud analyst at UMCU. He is beyond a wealth of information. And so him and I are going to go back and forth a little bit and take you through this presentation. So time's going to be a little tight today, okay, you guys? So what we're going to do is primarily kind of get you through the presentation. I've got a couple of videos to show you, a lot of good content. We're going to hopefully have some time at the end for questions. We probably won't have too much time as we move through for those quick questions. Kind of be patient with us. We're going to get you through it. We'll take some questions at the end, and we'll make sure we land the plane safely, correct? All right, good stuff. So maybe here's an intro question. Please raise your hand if you have been the target of any sort of financial scam attempt in the last 12 months. Oh, maybe a phishing email, maybe you're, okay. Well, Elgin, how do we do here? We got a little over 10%, right? Debit or credit card used fraudulently. In fact, I've had a few folks come up to me today and like, okay, so what do I do? Okay, and we haven't even started this yet. Door-to-door sales, issue with your taxes and stuff like this. A lot's going on, and the interesting thing about this presentation is it's never the same. Every single time I give this presentation, it's updated with what's currently happening in terms of scams and frauds and those type of things. So as I move through this tonight, this afternoon, you guys, I just wanted to share with you sort of where do I get my information to present to you, to make sure that it's accurate. One source is the FTC, the Financial Trade Commission, all of those kind of things, lots of good resources at the FTC website. And another good source, raise your hand if you are a member of AARP. Again, a pretty good amount of folks. There you go, me too, right? Me too. I want you to take 60 seconds at your table. I'm about ready to show you a list, but I want you to take 60 seconds at your table. Hey, if I asked you guys, there's a list of scams on the AARP Fraud Watch Network, what would I see on there? At your table, throw out a few scams that you think are on that particular website. What are some current ones? Go ahead, 60 seconds, go. Yes. Good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and sort of bring you back to the front of the room. I absolutely acknowledge I didn't give you very much time, okay, but I just sort of wanted to see what you thought of top of mind. You know, what are some current scams? Elgin, first question for you is, give me one scam that you think is on this list. I'm putting the pressure on you, right? I hope he gets this right, or we're already off to a rocky start. What's a scam right now, Elgin, that's probably on this list?
Well, on this list, it's definitely going to be something doing with elder abuse or some type of elder scam, romance scams, things of that nature.
Wow. Yeah, I agree. What do you guys think? Yes or no? I think he's probably on the right foot. Holy cow, guys. Roger, Jim, this workshop will go to 6:30 tonight because I'm going to cover all this. Are you kidding me right now? Take a look at that, you guys. Here's the nice thing. This is all free, okay? You don't have to be a member of AARP to go onto this and sort of find out what's going on a little bit with respect to all these different scams. Elgin and I literally were talking a few minutes ago. We could make this a half-day class, easy, with all the intricacies and what we see in our day-to-day work. We don't have time for that, so we're going to hit some big things. Take a look at all these scams. It's unbelievable. And Elgin, do you think this list changes?
Constantly.
Constantly, yep. Because we protect ourselves, and what do the scammers do? They change. Oh, you're on to me, so I'm going to try something different. And that's why we always have to be on our guard. So I have a report I'm happy to share with you before we sort of get into today's content. Raise your hand if you've ever had, let's say, a bad day. Ooh, got a couple? Elgin, did your hand go up? Mine too. Nicole, probably a couple times. Yeah. Oh my gosh, we have good days. We have bad days. I'm just making a little bit light. This was a really interesting study that sort of looked, you know, what are some of the characteristics? What are those susceptible moments in which we can most fall prey to a scammer? And I can share this with you. I can share the link or actually email it to you. And it was very interesting how the report kind of came out. Elgin, scammers use our emotions against us. Good days, bad days. How would you define that in terms of emotions? When we're having a really bad day, what happens to our guard?
Well, we put our guard down, but even then, you don't even have to have your guard up. They don't care. They're going to play on your emotions. They're going to give you an emotion to play with.
For sure. They talked about exposure. So if you're on the internet 8 to 10 hours a day, okay, there's a good chance you're going to get some pop-ups and some ads and stuff like that you shouldn't click on and stuff like that. So this is a really interesting study about like how people sort of, you know, and our emotions kind of go up and down during the week. We have to be extra careful about not making poor decisions when we're in sort of that heightened state. So who is the best person to help us stay safe and prevent becoming a victim of fraud? Who's the best person? Y'all looking at this group right now. So that is our job today, is to try to equip you with some good knowledge and information to help you stay safe, okay? So let's start off. Anybody still use the USPS, U.S. Postal Service? Of course we do, right? I'm just having a little bit of fun with it. I'm actually a big fan. I love to send greeting cards and stuff like that. But I've got a video I'm going to show you and why we especially need to be careful, more important than ever. Mail practices. Number one, if you have a mailbox at home, collect that mail promptly. Keep track of expected bills. If you still get a mortgage payment or a credit card bill, you should know when those come in. And if they don't come in, that's a red flag. You need that information. Don't let mail go unattended. Anybody taking a vacation in the next couple weeks, months? Yeah, let's let somebody know. Don't let that mail just pile up. Sending a check. Elgin, should I put that out on the curb?
No, you should not, especially when we have those boxes and you lift the flag up. That lets everybody know you've got mail in there.
Okay, couple things. First of all, most of us in this room would know that if we do have one of those mailboxes with the little red flag, sort of like, hey, I'm sending my mortgage payment in, leave the check alone, and then we're off. Don't put that red flag up. Here's what we've seen in the last couple years, though. these boxes, the USPS boxes that are not inside the post office, those keys are getting stolen. And people are going into those boxes, and what are they looking for? They're looking for checks. Absolutely. So be super careful. Do not deposit mail in mailboxes that are not inside the post office. It's much safer to take the 30 seconds and walk inside. Elgin, if somebody got a hold of one of our checks, what is some of the information? If a thief got a hold of one of our checks, could they find out where I live?
Most definitely. You got it right there on the check.
How about my financial institution?
Bingo.
My accounting number and my routing number? Painful. The last person we want to have with our check is somebody that's going to do harm to us. So Casey, let's go ahead and play this quick 3-minute video, and we want to share with you a term called check washing.
Learning about how thieves are stealing money. It's called check washing, and some victims have seen their bank accounts drained, their identity stolen. Whit Johnson is here to tell us how it works. Good morning, Whit.
George, good morning. This is when a thief gets a hold of one of your checks, washes it clean, and then changes the amount. For example, that simple birthday check to a family member for $50 could become $5,000. These cases are on the rise with devastating results.
This morning, a new warning about check washing, a scam where criminals steal checks from the mail, remove the ink, then forge the info to cash in on your money.
During the last 2 years or so, we witnessing this increase in the amount of stolen mail that we are experiencing here in the United States.
The United States Postal Inspection Service says they recover more than $1 billion in counterfeit checks and money orders every year. And according to the U.S. Treasury Department, this year there's been more than 370,000 reported cases of suspicious check activity, including those linked to check washing, up from about 96,000 in 2014. 58-year-old Ohio resident Flora Patton, who first spoke with our Toledo affiliate WTVG, says back in August she dropped her mortgage check into a mailbox right in front of her local post office. But just days later, when she tried to pay another bill, she discovered her account was wiped out.
And I opened my account and it was a zero balance. I'm like, oh my God.
She says a call to the credit union confirmed her check, seen here, had been washed.
Everything was changed. The date, my name, everything that I put on the check was totally different. And it was a little over $6,000. It was shocking. It was scary, jaw-dropping.
Luckily, Patton's fraud protection kicked in and she was able to get her money back.
Cashing the check is just the beginning of a way more sophisticated type of crime folks are working on. Once they have your identity, then they can start using it. We are seeing this occurring more and more.
So here are some top ways to protect yourself. If you plan on sending an envelope with a check, take it directly inside the post office to drop it in the mail so it's more secure. Or deposit your outgoing mail into one of those blue collection boxes and make sure it's before the last pickup so it's not just sitting there for longer than it needs to be. Also, retrieve mail frequently. Never leave it in your mailbox overnight. And if you become a victim of check washing, immediately report it to your bank account so that they can add increased protection. Guys?
All great.
All right. So Elgin, here at UMCU, have you seen any situations where a member has had this occur to them? Any sort of check washing?
Yeah, we've seen that. Actually, just yesterday,
Okay.
I had one where a member deposited a check that was altered off of a business.
Okay.
So, I mean, it goes both ways. Businesses or individuals, their checks can be washed and reused for other nefarious purposes. Yeah.
So just be careful. Be careful with that mail. Be careful with those checks. It could be a source of potential fraud. Mail, we don't get as much as we used to, right? Especially with email and stuff like that. But I do want to share with you, and sometimes it's not known, that if you find yourself getting a lot of solicitations for insurance and credit cards and other things, you have the right, using that website right here, to put yourself on the list saying, I don't want my name and address shared. I don't need new credit cards. I don't need new insurance, those type of things. This opt-out pre-screen, it lasts for 5 years or 60 months. You can put your name on that list. Should you find that convenient, you can do that. Okay. The next thing I'm going to show you is a little bit of a longer video, and it really goes in to some very, very common scams that we are going to talk about. This one is about 7 or 8 minutes, a little bit longer. It's going to cover a number of things. It's actually a little bit, the first time you see this, it's a little bit emotional. Some of these people are exactly like the folks in our room here, and it's horrible what has taken place. So Casey, we're going to play this second video, and then Elgin and I will take you through the to-dos here.
Story will continue in a moment.
Elgin, come on up here. Thank you, Casey. Yeah, you can pop those lights up. Wow, lots to unpack there, right? There was a whole bunch of things, and we're just going to kind of quickly go back and forth a little bit. Elgin, grandparent scams was one of the first things that we covered. Can you just give us what are some do's and don'ts in terms of like these phone calls we're not expecting?
Right. So earlier in the presentation, we talked about emotions, right? This is how they get your emotions involved. You would do anything that you can for your grandson, grandchild, right? And they prey on that. They bank on the fact that you're going to do that. You're going to get your emotions up. You're going to just say, well, what I need to do? And they'll say, do this, and do this. That's when we have to stop, right? Think about what's happening. Hang up the phone. Call your daughter, your son, or call the grandchild and see what's going on. Because someone on the phone can tell you anything, and you're not even there. So you just have to stop, think about what you're doing and what they're asking you to do.
We will always try to protect you, but did you remember what exactly did they tell her to do? Hey, when you go into the credit union, don't tell them what you're withdrawing. Tell them what? You're using the money for home improvements. Oh, makes sense. Okay, that kind of thing.
Mark, we just had something just similar to this recently. Unfortunately, I see it more often than not. And I just want to tell this group, and you tell your friends, spread it around. Please, 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 trust your financial institution. If someone tells you not to tell us the real reason why you're withdrawing the money, again, this is cash. Talk to your financial institution. We are here to help protect your assets. If you lie to us, I can't do anything for you because you're not going to tell me what's really going on, and you're going to take the money and give it to whoever. And again, I get it. It's the emotional side.
Yep.
That's what we have to take control of when we're in those situations.
Yeah, 100%. Let's run through just a few more. I think some of these were kind of covered a little bit. Hey, guess what? Congrats, you guys. We all use Facebook, right? And because you're a Facebook user, you just won $1,000 what? Wow, sounds too good to be true, right? Take a look at this, you guys. First of all, is your name anywhere on there? Nope. Is there a sense of urgency? How much time do you have to claim this? And I absolutely guarantee if you click on that button that says continue, you're not headed to Amazon. You're headed to some place that we don't want to go. So be very careful of this. Romance scams. We're not going to do we're going to do a deep dive into this, but it happens. Okay? It happens. And it's way, way too often when all of a sudden these relationships start online and, hey, I can't meet you because I'm overseas and those type of things. Could you send me some money? That type of stuff. Be very careful. Your financial institution is probably a great place to start out with, like, does this sound suspicious?
Yes. So again, here we are with the emotions again. So as an investigator, I'm talking to you and trying to convince you that this is a scam, but you've had a relationship with this person for 6 months, a year, sometimes 2 years. And now they're finally in the place where they feel they can ask you for money. So I cannot tell you how many times I've had that heartbreaking conversation with an individual that, no, this is not your fiance. He's not coming. Don't send any money. And then, sometimes they go ahead and do it anyway. And then they come back to me and says, well, I didn't know. So I tried to tell you. Stop doing that because, again, they are just in the business of taking money from you. Take the emotion out of the equation.
Good stuff. I think we saw this on the video, you guys. Anyone use a computer at home? Yeah, I got a few. Yeah, occasionally, right? And we're having fun, and all of a sudden, oh my goodness, what in the world happened? I have a smile on my face, but not really. My dad lost $500 2 years ago to this. And the thing that was most disappointing, he knows what I do, you guys. He knows where I work. I found out about this 90 days later because my dad was embarrassed. And I'm telling you, we see it all the time. There was a very interesting statement in that video. The person said, these people don't have dementia. They're actually sharp as but their emotions involved. My dad's working, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, geez. What in the world? I've got financial information on this computer. And he called. And they took control of his computer. They got $500 out of his bank account. And I didn't find out about it for 90 days until he reluctantly told me. So be very careful. Something like this happens, Elgin, I usually just say, shut it down.
And definitely don't click on anything.
Oh my gosh, the worst. So, hey, congratulations, you just won the lottery. Unfortunately not. Casey, I think we've got time for one more. This is sort of another kind of a sad video, but I wanted to share last video in terms of lotteries.
Scam calls that most of us get every single day. They're actually a big crime and can often trick our loved ones. 5 Investigates, Karen Anderson found this is a growing problem, most frequently targeting the senior population, Karen.
Yes, and Maria, the FBI says last year in Massachusetts, 1,200 people over the age of 60 lost more than $11 million to scammers. The financial losses are actually believed to be much higher because many older Americans never report it because they feel ashamed or embarrassed. Well, tonight, we hear about the scams and the fallout from a woman who never told anyone what was happening.
I was flying high with all the things I could do. I truly believed that this was going to be mine.
Joan Beavers is a retired school principal and nationally known dog breeder.
I love my dogs.
In 2013, Joan received a call that would change her life. She was told she just won $2.5 million in the lottery. All she needed to do was pay a lawyer's fee, some taxes, and the money would be hers.
Not only could I get out of debt, but how could I help this one and how could I help that one?
When they asked her to put $400 on a money pack card, she did it. When they told her to wire money, she did. But the calls and the payment demands kept on coming. Joan was told each one would be the last, and then she would get her millions.
I was late for school many times because I would run down to get it out really early because all I had to do was send him $150 and it would get this thing rolling. I believed him because he was so believable. He was so believable. He had the name of all the restaurants in the area. He knew all the streets. He knew everything about my home.
Joan got to a point where she couldn't pay her mortgage. She sold her life insurance policy, borrowed from family and friends.
How much did you lose? I lost $27,000. It's a great loss.
Joan was ensnared in what's known as a Jamaican lottery scam. Scammers there target people in the U.S. and also hire or dupe people here to assist in their criminal con game.
They see these people as prey.
Michael Kroll is the Assistant Special Agent in charge of the Boston Office of Homeland Security Investigations, or HSI.
Once they get money from these victims, it's like blood in the water.
So I'm going to go ahead. Elgin, we'll bring it back here. You sort of get the idea here, right? Same thing we've been talking about in terms of emotions and stuff like that. So what I want to do over our last 15, 20 minutes is just to give you some actionable things to help you keep safe. We'll go fairly quick through this. A little bit on home record keeping, you guys. Everybody doing their taxes? I just heard somebody say, yeah, we'll do them. We promise. Okay. You don't need to keep that stuff for 20 years, 3, 4 years, depending on your situation. Keep it safe. Anybody have a shredder? Yeah, good stuff, Elgin. Important. Credit card statements and stuff like that, financial, with your personal identifying information, shred it. No reason to keep all that stuff. It's dangerous.
Yeah, and don't forget about the credit union shred events we have.
We do. We've got usually in the spring. Yes. Yeah. Well, we've got yes, and then and finally, go paperless at times. If there's certain things that you're comfortable with, maybe not getting so much mail, bank statements, credit card statements, auto loan payments, and stuff like that. If you can accept it paperless, it took me a while, Elgin, to kind of move it, but I think I get maybe 1 bill out of 10 in the mail. Almost everything is now electronic. So credit reports. Nicole is our credit expert, and I'm just bringing this up, you guys, because not a bad idea, at least once a year, maybe twice a year, actually look at your credit report. That site right there, annual credit report, you can use it once a week for free. Once a week, you can get your own credit report. And Elgin, do you see in that box right there, if I looked at a credit report, what are the 3 things that we would make sure that we are looking for?
Inquiries, unknown accounts, or unknown addresses, which would be an indication that your credit report has been compromised.
Exactly. So you take a look, like, wait a minute, I don't live in Boston. Or you look at the inquiries, why is Bank of America pulling my credit report last week? I didn't apply for a credit card. Those are some things you can do for free today on your own by going to that website right there. Freezing your credit. Elgin, not a bad idea. Freeze your credit, a good tool. Could you share with us a little bit, what is freezing credit?
Freezing your credit means that you take control of your credit. Used to be that the credit bureaus would tell us when we could have access to our credit file. Now with regulation, they say how you have to give them access to their credit file. So me personally, I have all of my credit locked down, and if I need it, then I just open up an app or log into their website, unfreeze it, and you can even do it for a specific period of time, a couple days, whatever fits your needs, and then it'll automatically go back to being frozen. So nice way. I had to pay $30 for mine before they offered it for free. So it was $10 per credit bureau.
So if a scammer or a thief is trying to open an account in your name, credit card, something like that, they apply to UMCU, but you've got a credit freeze there. When that application goes to the financial institution, okay, and they attempt to pull that credit report and it's frozen, nobody can access it, what happens to that fraudulent account? It does not get open. So that credit freeze protects that, and it really avoids those unknown fraudulent accounts from being open. And the good news is, Elgin, it's now free, right?
Yeah, it's free now.
You can, whether you're freezing it or thawing it back and forth, it's very easy, and I would suggest you do it. So we're going to sort of finish with some online security tips. Anyone know what phishing is? We've never gotten an email that looks suspicious, right? Show you a few examples here. Please understand that first sentence, we will never call you or email you and say, gosh, it's crazy. We completely lost your SSN and account number. We're sorry, but if you click here and give us that information, it's all good. Elgin will never do that.
Never, never, never.
100%. Hey, good news here. Bank of America. Let's see. Due to upgrade in servers, your online account will be locked. Oh, we get something like this. What is the first thing our eyes go to? Look on the top of this. We don't read what's the visual in this slide. The logo. Is that Bank of America's logo? I think so. So it must be legit, right? Anybody ever gone to Google? Go to Google Images. I can get a logo in less than a second. Okay. Is there a phone number on here? They don't want you to call. What would they want you to do? Click here. Okay. Don't call, don't write, don't tell your neighbor. Just click here and all be good. Well, if you click there, you're probably headed to somewhere we don't want to be. Again, these start with a scam or with an email or a text that appears to be legitimate, okay? There was a term that young lady used in the video. She used the term spoofing. Could I just hold this cell phone up just for a minute? I promise I'm not going to call anybody.
Don't
Nicole?
trust them. Don't trust them.
Oh, Elgin, there's a call coming through here. It says the IRS. I better take this out in the hallway because I think I'm going to use a gift card to pay what I owe last year. Could this possibly say IRS? Yeah, they can make this look like anything, especially here in Washtenaw County, 734. Oh, it's local. It's got to be good. Or the state of Michigan, or those kind of things.
Real quick tip for you folks. Again, I can only speak for iPhone. That's what I have, so I'm not sure if Android does it as well. But there's a setting that you can set on your iPhone only to receive calls from your contact list. If anybody else calls you that wants to talk to you, they better leave a message. That way you know if they don't leave a message, it wasn't meant for you. So I have that on my phone where, if I don't have your contact information, you got to leave a message for me.
This is another example of a phishing email, and what I want you to do is look all the way up on top where that blue link is. Well, this is from Chase, right? Let's take a look at that address where it's coming from. Holy cow. Chase at whatever that is, right? I'm not even going to read all those words. Okay, we need to sort of get in the habit before we do anything about seeing where this came from, the origin of the email. And you'll notice here, guys, I'm not sure I see a phone number on this. Do you? No, they just want us to click here, and they're baiting us. Hey, there's been some transactions. What's going on? Our emotions get up. We get upset. Of course, I didn't buy anything at Best Buy. And we end up having some trouble here. Just a little same kind of thing. Netflix, we've seen a little bit. Instead of hi Mark, what does this say? Geez, I've been a Netflix customer for 10 years. You don't know my first name yet? If you get one of these hi sir, hi dear, not good, okay? Amazon, oh my God, anyone buy anything at Amazon? Gosh, spend a day at my household. I think the Amazon drivers know us. Yeah, but the last thing we would want is our Amazon account to be canceled. These are the kind of things, look at where it's from though, you guys. Look up on top. contact@usps.com. That doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? So, and the last thing we will kind of talk about is this, and they mentioned this a little bit on the video. Be careful of even that caller ID that comes through, okay? Anyone ever gotten these false texts? Hey, I got something at the post office, or I got something at FedEx. Well, heck, I got a package. Maybe Nicole sent me something. I'm gonna head down and just, nope, they just want you to click on these links. They'll download malware and those kind of things, so we have to be extraordinarily keep our guard up for stuff like that. So Elgin, if you don't mind, this is all good stuff, but could you help me a little bit with these three, super important, 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah, so we're talking about if you get an unnerving call or someone you don't recognize, again, but you're not gonna have that problem because you're gonna change that, right? It's only gonna be your contact list. So it says hang up immediately. Don't trust anybody. They can find your information on Google, find out a whole bunch about you, so you want to be careful. Find out the actual issue with your account. Talk to your financial institution. Again, we are here to protect you. Don't rely on the third party. Go directly to your financial institution to find out what's going on with your account. And again, be mindful too, when it comes to those cell phones, and we've had a lot of people spoof the credit union's phone number saying they're from the fraud department. I didn't call you. But they'll say, hey, we need this, we need your PIN number, we need your debit card number. We will never, 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 ever ask you for that. We have your debit card number. We don't have your PIN number. Only you know that. And only you should know that. So just be careful because, again, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get information so that they can defraud your account.
Elgin, I'm holding up right here my UMCU card. Is there an 800 number on the back of this?
There is.
Can I trust it?
Yes.
Yeah. Not what you find on Google, not what you see in that email, not those kind of. Call the number that you are 100% legit. You saw that example. That lady was routed over to some scammer at Chase, right? Bad phone number. So yeah, absolutely. So Elgin mentioned a little bit about robocalls. There are actually some software. Most of the providers like Verizon, AT&T, they've done a better job. So there are some software out there. And then finally, we're going to finish with this one, you guys. We love passwords, right? Anyone have over 100? Yeah, I know. We'll have to run more tests, but we think he's tried memorizing so many passwords, his brain's locked up. Yeah, I feel the same way. Use letters, uppercase, lowercase, special characters, all those things, numbers, letters. Don't use one password for every account. Change those passwords, that type of thing. No. Let's look at this list. I don't want to see any of these passwords, okay? No 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No winter 2025. Y'all can do better, okay? That's what really we're hoping for. So Nicole, if you could come up, I'm going to have you and Elgin just give us those last do's and don'ts. Those last do's and don'ts. And you got? Yep. Nicole wanted to participate a little bit too. She's fantastic. So I want everybody, the handouts that we gave you, the blue handouts, open them up, and let's talk about the most important takeaways from today's session.
Thanks, Mark. So some things that you don't want to do. So do not share passwords for any financial accounts, really any type of account. Even if they sound very convincing, don't share those. Don't pay upfront funds for a promised prize. Don't click any links or scan QR codes that are unexpected or suspicious. Don't send payments to a stranger via wire transfer, payment app, gift card, prepaid card, or cryptocurrency. So a lot of times they do that because they don't want it to be traced back to them. And also, don't post identifying or personal information on social media.
And then some. And it's coming in. All right, and some of the do's. We've talked about several of these already, but again, if it's too good to be true, it is too good to be true, right? Again, if someone's trying to pressure you into doing something to make an action right away, you don't have time to think about it, what are we going to do? We're going to stop, think about it, hang up the phone, call someone that we trust, let them know what's going on. Again, we talked about collecting your mail promptly, shredding financial documents. Passwords were important here because, again, if it's an easy password, it's easy for the criminals to just have a program to run through all the easy passwords that they are aware of, and it's likely to be one of yours. So make it difficult so that they can't do that. Again, review your credit reports on an annual basis. You have 3 reports. So throughout the year, choose a credit bureau, check it out, make sure everything's okay. And I mean, that's it. Yeah. The plane has landed.
The plane has landed, good, and we want to make sure everybody stays safe. So really, I want to make sure, I know our pace today was fairly quick, and Jim and Roger, I want to respect our timing today. I don't know if you wanted to take a few questions or have them kind of offline, Nicole and I and Elgin offside. I'll defer to y'all. I want to keep us on, and yeah, I want to keep us on schedule. We can take a couple questions. So just pop up here to the mic. And I know, yeah, if anybody had, come right up. Yeah, we're happy to hear from you. We've got time just for a couple. So I'm going to give him the microphone. Yeah, you go ahead and ask it out loud.
You never mentioned the Ann Arbor Police. Are they just overwhelmed?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. Quick thing. So earlier on in my career, I would file police reports. I mean, I'd pop them off just like this. So one day, one of the detectives called me and said, "Hey, we need to have a conversation." I said, "What's the matter?" He says, "We don't have the resources for all of these fraud reports that you're filing." I said, "Okay." So yeah, they're overwhelmed just as we are. I mean, we don't have a lot of staff at our institution, but we do the best that we can.
Do you remember in the video, you guys, where do a lot of these scammers work from?
Yeah.
Way away. And it's very difficult for local law enforcement to take action. I think I saw, yes, sir, please.
Part of me says I want to fight back.
Woo!
And I was using the phishing attempt at Gmail, where you would send a copy of a message that I got that you thought was that. And you can do it with Gmail, you could do it with other major. Is that worthwhile, or is it just am I wasting my time and make me feel good because I'm fighting back?
Yeah, I wouldn't at all. Again, that's not, the way you can fight back is to not be a victim.
Okay.
Can you speak to the payment apps that people use and the security risks with those?
And we're talking like Venmo, Cash App, those type of things.
Yeah, everything has a risk.
Yeah.
Right. It could be that your phone was stolen and you don't have it password protected. Now someone has access to your Venmo, PayPal, all of those type of things. So you have to do the best that you can to secure them. Secure your phone first, and then make sure your apps are secure with passwords. Again, I can only speak to, I think the one that I have for Cash App. It requires a PIN number in order to proceed with the transaction. So if someone stole my phone with it being unlocked, they couldn't send money without the password.
But speaking towards using it to pay, so like Marketplace Facebook, to pay someone.
Yeah. To my knowledge, Elgin, there isn't a higher incident of fraud, even though because you're paying with PayPal or Venmo, than a traditional like debit or credit card. Those apps are fairly safe, but again, the due diligence, the safe practice needs to be on our end. But I wouldn't necessarily say to not use those, because that's not the case.
Okay.
Yeah. They're useful, but again, be
Yeah.
careful with
Protecting my phone.
who you're sending the money to, because once it's sent, it's gone.
Right.
Okay.
Where do we have a hand? Okay, we'll go right here. I'm going to give you this, okay?
I just wanted to make a comment about Venmo, or what's the other? I forget what the other ones are. But they say do not leave it open, because if somebody does get into your phone and it's open, I think that they can send money all kinds of places. But the second question I have is for the post office, the boxes, they've made the boxes far more secure, so it's very difficult to get into them. Am I being fooled by thinking that it's safe enough now? I just wanted to ask that question.
Well, the issue with the mailboxes was that the government does everything simply, so there was a master key for all of them. So once the master key was stolen, now they had free reign. So that was the issue with the mailboxes. I'm sorry? I haven't heard of anything. I mean, the detective hasn't called me and said, "Hey, we resolved it," but we've had several cases from our institution in regards to mail being stolen out of those boxes.
So friends, if you want some additional information about what we've covered today, Nicole and I and Elgin will be right over there. Always you can reach out to us. If you look on the back of that handout, do you see education@umcu.org? Nicole and I are the only folks that get those. We're happy to provide resources and information if you need it. Thanks so much for having us in, you guys. Thanks so much.